Okay, John the Van Guy, my latest project. This has been an interesting one. I had to do everything on it, all the welding, wings replaced, sills replaced, everything else. Now I'm working on the inside. Just a few tips and tricks you might come across if you're doing a similar sort of thing. I'll take you through a few things that have happened, a few obvious ones and just things I found useful. Okay, I hope this helps. Right, I've just today, this window on here was totally seized up, and there didn't seem to be any way of releasing it. So what I did, I used a load of penetrating oil, and in here where you've got like a felt bit which actually against the window, I just used a fine blade to go up and down, went all the way around as much as I could, still couldn't release it. Left it about 24 hours, and today I was thinking, well, how on earth are we going to shift this thing? And suddenly thought, kind of obvious really, for some, not for me. This is used for pulling out panels. I thought, well, why not? Put that on there, and it gives you the purchase to actually move the thing. So that's a little tip for today. Okay, that's one. Right, you can see I've got the fridge out here. This is a standard Electrolux fridge, not working. The gas actually, the little gas pilot valve on the pilot light on the inside actually works when you connect it up to gas, but nothing actually happens. Classic problem. So what I thought to do was, as many people said online, invert it. All the ammonia and water and solution, it all gets blocks the tubes. Apparently been sitting there an awful long time, so I've inverted it overnight. So the idea is to leave it 24 hours, shake it around a bit, and then I've re-inverted it, and I will be connecting up soon to see if everything works now. The pretty standard controls. There's plenty on the internet, so I won't go into it on how to operate these things. Piezo lights are there, doesn't need electric, so the gas goes in there, and electric's there. You've got the 240 volt, which should be, let's see, this one, 240 volts going in there, and connected through to the switch here, and connected through to here. There's some very nice videos online showing you how all this works. It's not as complicated as it initially looks, and this is the 12 volt entry which actually links in to the switch. So that's that. So I'll be sorting. What I'll do first is attach up the gas and to the gas inlet and see if we can get the pilot light. One of the things they say to do is you take this casing off. The boilers are in here. It's quite straightforward really. There's the boiler tube goes down here on the inside, and ammonia and water flow up there. The liquid becomes a gas, and it goes through this condenser, and works its way all the way around. Apparently when the mix actually, the liquid actually meets up with hydrogen, then you get this cooling effect, and then it all ends up back in the tank. But there's lots on the internet about this, so I won't go into that. Let's show you the boiler. That's the boiler tube, and these are the elements which heat the boiler tube. Very straightforward. Your 240 volt heats the tube, and your 12 volt will heat the tube. The 12 volt obviously will drain your leisure battery. Really should only work and only use when the engine's running. The thicker wires are the thicker brown wires. These are the 240. This must be the 240 volt element, which is on the side of the tube. In the top here, this is quite interesting, you can pull this out and there's a thing on the end, like a wavy thing. You clean that up. All that does, apparently, all it's there for is to retain the heat from the elements in the tube. It maintains, it helps to maintain, rather than the heat just going straight up the tube, it helps to maintain it in this region, so make it more effective against the boiler where the ammonia and water are working their way up, so into a gaseous state. So that's that. Anyway, I'm leaving it now for about 4 hours. Oh, wrong way. Before I actually attach anything, and see if this works now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to work. Let's put this back. And right, what about the inside of the van? So that's ongoing. Inside of the van, oh, in here I've put a leisure battery in. There wasn't one, or at least it wasn't attached properly, and a relay system. You can actually buy the whole relay system with all the little fuse boxes and everything. You can buy it as a job lot and connect it all up. Not difficult, if you're reasonably handy. And here we have the van proper. Now it looks remarkably better than when I first got it. It was horrible and orange and painted. It was gross actually, and the chap before had a go at filling it with wood. The wooden effects, I've pulled out all that, it just aged the thing. The fabric on these seats is very good actually. I was very impressed. So it looks like, I think these have been replaced in the past. The foam is just too good. Again, they were black and orange, everything was black and orange. I've got this adhesive vinyl stuff, again a lot on the web to actually fit this. Took out the fridge and the sink unit, and it's held in by clips underneath, clips and screws. The same with the hob. I've taken them out so I could actually do the worktop, and then I've taken all the doors and fittings off and cleaned them up and did them with the vinyl, which I bought from B&Q. This is quite common stuff. This is the sort of orange it was. I might whiten that cupboard. I'm now working around finding where all the electrics are and what works and what doesn't. And I've found it's got a heater, an oven, and a Caribbean oven, which is not bad. And I found I've touched the gas and everything actually works. This I've put in. I got this from an old van, which has been scrapped. And what had happened before, people who had had it were obviously flower power people, I think, and they'd cut big shapes and painted it bright orange, and it was horrible. So I took the whole thing out and refitted. The only thing is, it was these new units are a little bit short for the van, so I want to put a bit of 2x2 all the way down from an excess, from floor to ceiling, to bring all this out a little bit, and I've really got and fitted it all. The door up here, I found it was all damp, so I've had to do the roof with a fiberglass sort of paint, which I've done is reseal the roof. I had to do that. Was the first job, one of the first jobs I did, reseal the whole roof. And what I've done, I've used plywood and cut plywood shapes in and refitted all this with plywood and mounting onto struts, which I've actually glued struts on using Sudaflex 40FC, which I use on panels, and that worked very well to actually hold struts in, so to put the plywood on. This is another story. Everything, nothing actually worked in this van except, well, a few things, but a lot of things didn't work. This is where the boiler goes. There was a boiler here, and classic situation. I got from Aquatech, who were very good. I gave them pictures of some of the pipe work, and I needed to reconnect it all to this boiler. And here are some of the push fittings, brilliant things. These are the type of thing, very standard push fittings. There's like a little metal insert in there, and I'll just I'll show you one. Hold on, if I just take the top off one, I can show you. If you look on the inside, oh, why not take it out, John? Okay, let's take it out. There's the rubber ring, there's the thing on top, and there's the thing on top of that. See? That goes in first, that way. That goes in top, that goes on there like that, and the rubber ring goes like that. So you just simply push your tube in, this flexi tube, this 15mm, make sure that is pushed in solidly, and then simply screw on that, and so that's what you've got there, and seems to work. But when I connected everything up and pushed water through, what actually happened is water came out of the boiler. It's a Palomar boiler. Water actually came out. I've had this sort of thing before. What happens is people don't drain them off in the winter, and then they freeze, and the copper pipe bursts, and that's what actually happened at the top of it when I took it all apart. Anyway, there's on eBay, there's somebody who actually reinstates them, revigorates them, whatever you call it, and £130 plus £15 postage, and you just send it off, and they'll send you one which has been refurbished, that's the word. And so I'm waiting for that to come back and connect it all up. The guy did say it was working properly, but you know, you take that all with a pinch of salt. I mean, it's such a classic problem. I've had that 2-3 times now, where water's left. Don't overwinter, so always remember to drain off. There's a drain plug on them to drain off any water in the winter on these Palomar heaters. They're good heaters, but this pipe work, there's bits and pieces of it came with it to go through here. It's like an insulating piece on the inside, forced it up, and I was able to cut this. This also was in here. It was a long tube. I've cut it to size, and that's the sort of top cowl that actually goes on. So that's another thing. The electrics, right. First thing you do, I've got that on. Amazing, the electric seems to work. The lighting didn't work, and all it was one of these fuses. Check all the fuses, classic thing. And one of them wasn't working, which was the one for the lights. What I've bought is some LED lights to come. I've taken off all those horrible little rails which carry curtains, because I think that ages the van. And I'm working a way how to put blinds up instead of curtains. And so I'm going to have to be, I noticed in IKEA they do like a little concertina type blind, and I might adapt something like that. But I have bought these from Wix, blackout roller blinds, which I'm going to see if they will work and fit, and then all I have to do is then pull them down, much more efficient and easier to use. And I think these little curtain things are so dated, they date the van. And I've bought some of these grey, what they call them, turn buttons, which again, when you pull it down, you'll have to stay down there and stay up against the window. So that's where I am. I've done the floor. Oh yeah, the floor. Now, usually in these things, you they have an arrangement where some sort of shower tray. Nobody ever uses it. But you pull up this board and there's a shower tray. The shower tray is usually gross and split. And so I've carndened all that, filled it all, and so it's a much more neater. So the porcelain in there. Whether I put there's a sink as well, a horrible little brown sink. Whether I put that back, that's another story. So that's all for now. This centre bit, Under here is a T-shaped piece which actually comes up, which the idea is to make it into a double bed, but a right faff, most people don't bother. So I've actually fixed that, and I will be recarpeting all this area, and I bought some carpet, some offcuts from a shop in town. I can't remember what it's called, near Wicks in Salisbury. They were very good. Offcuts, I bought £20, would do the whole van. Right, there you go. So, and I've also covered all the walls with this wall liner, which and use adhesive glue. You can buy 5 meters, and they give you about 5 cans of adhesive with that, and it doesn't cost that much. Look it up on eBay. And 5 meters was easy enough. Okay, thank you. We say goodbye.